Hi, Martin again for Let's Talk About Wood. And today we create a zero clearance plate for the table saw. Most table saw come with a big plate, big slot in order to have some space to do the cutting, whether with a regular blade or a dado blade. But the problem is when you go with a plate like this, your wood might chip. So the best is to go with a zero clearance plate that is going to have not a lot of space for the wood to chip around, and it's going to do a most cleaner cut. So let's create that with the CNC. But if you want to know how to do it without a CNC, look at that video. It's in French, I know. Just put the subtitle. And it's how to do it without the CNC, with the regular tools.
Okay, so let's continue, or I would prefer say, let's start the project into Carbide Create. You already have the example of the final result we want to do, so I will show you how I obtain that result. You have to create a rectangle, and that rectangle has to be the size of your hole in the table saw. So let's apply the width and the height that is concerned. Over here I just copied my numbers, and then I will apply a fillet that will put a circle around it, around my rectangle. And that, by the way, I will give you right away. It's 44, it's half of the size, and this is going to create a perfect circle around my rectangle on both ends. Let's center it in the piece approximatively, but as you can see over here, this is going to be a template where I'm able to do two at the same time. It is not necessarily what I'm going to do, but yes, I can put both at the same time. Now I'm going to create the small hole for the micro jig splitter, and I'm using some measure that I did millimeter precisely, and I'm putting the hole where I need it. I need 4 of them, and they need to be aligned. But at first, I'm not aligning it right away. I'm going to do that afterward. Um, so yes, let's select them one by one, or effectively 4 of them at the same time. And by centering it, I'm going to put the distance between each of them will be equal. And I'm also aligning them to be in perfect alignment with the blade. I'm not really worried about if it's perfect or not right now, because at first I will create my first prototype that I will test on the table saw in order to verify if my holes are perfect or not. And since I have many other things to test at the same time, that prototype is going to verify everything, and then I will probably create a second template, a second prototype, in order to verify if all my changes are correct. I created also the hole to put my finger when I want to remove the plate from its place. And then I'm going to create the text I want to put, because since I have two sizes for blade 1/8 and 3/32, the thin curve, so I'm just going to put the text of the template I'm creating. I'm using whatever you select your font. I decided to be bold and italic, and that's it. There is many other things that you can explore, but this is really simple. So all the holes are now perfect for the job to be done. By the way, if you are using some zero clearance plate and you have maybe a way of doing it with CNC, please provide those information in the description below of the video. Okay, now the toolpath. I'm going to select a different toolpath depending on what I have to do. Let's say for the hole, for the micro jig hole, it will be using the 1/8, and I'm going to use, yeah, you see the thickness of the board. What I'm taking over here is I want to do the hole exactly that thickness. So for the tool path of whatever I want to do as the thickness, I'm going to put a T into it. And that will tell me that I have to go exactly through all the thickness of the board. For the text, it's a V carve, only 2 mm. And now for the big hole, again, it's going to be whatever the max depth could be a little bit. It could be T for the thickness, or I saw it was 11.5. It could be 12 in order to go through. See over here the contour, I put T. There is different way of doing it. It's going to be outside in order to make sure that I will keep exactly the size I've written. And since I have the Pro version, I'm using the ramping. So let's look at the simulation, and you can see it's complete on the left, and I did not do it right now for the right. I'm going to do that later. Let's save the toolpath, save the file, and now let's produce the first one. And said, oh my God, oh! The first time I designed it, I was not in the right direction. So I switched my design, and now I restarted. And guess what? My X is not at the right place. I have a small board, so yeah, this is a problem. You can even see the line because I decided to move the CNC to the X and Y 0, and it went through it because I was lower. I was too low. Now, perfect, I'm correct, and it's exactly what I want to do. So I'm doing the first tool path around at 1 mm. My goal over here is as soon as I have the design, I will be able to test my metal plate in order to see am I having the right size, because I don't want to go cut through all my wood yet. Let's say my design is not perfect, I can wait. So I'm restarted the job because I tested my my metal plate and it was correct. And now I'm writing my text, then the holes, and the last step will be to cut around exactly through the thickness of the wood in order to have really my prototype in my hand in order to let's test that on the table saw. So you use a smaller blade. You need a smaller one. The 10" is going to touch the wood. So I had to switch to a 7 1/4. And when I'm pulling it up, you can see it's making my hole. And I will stop and check my alignment. I was not perfect. So I did my change in the software and I recreated a second prototype. In fact, this one was correct. And here is me producing it and redoing exactly the same test. So I did a little bit with the 7 1/4, and then you can see over here I remove it and put the 10" into it, and I will be able to complete the process with that 10". This time I was able to confirm that everything was fine. Yeah!
If you're interested for the Carbon Create file and you are a member of my YouTube channel, just write to me and I will send you the file for free. Here it is, all done for my 332 tint curve, 332 blade. I can do it also for a 1/8 blade, and it's going to written some. I will write something else over here. All done, all set up for my table saw. Thank you, hope you appreciate it.